They called it the deal of the century. Billions in promised investment, highways that would connect remote villages to bustling cities, modern hospitals that could transform public health, and jobs that would put tens of thousands of citizens to work. At least that's how it was presented. But beneath the surface of the glossy press releases and official statements lay something very different, something far more dangerous for the future of an African nation. This is the story of how an African president stared down one of the most powerful men in the world, Donald Trump, and said a single word that changed everything. No. In the modern world, gold is far more than a symbol of luxury or a shiny ornament for the rich. It is the backbone of global finance, a stabilizer for currencies, a hedge against economic collapse, and increasingly, a critical element in high-tech industries. In the heart of West Africa, the nation of Kantara, a country rich in history but often overlooked on the global stage, had just stumbled upon one of the largest untapped gold reserves discovered in decades. Geologists estimated the deposits could rival those of South Africa's legendary mines, potentially worth hundreds of billions of dollars over the next half-century. The discovery was enough to send ripples through international markets. Mining companies scrambled to secure meetings with Kantara's government. Diplomatic envoys arrived under the guise of friendship, but everyone knew the real prize was buried deep beneath Kantara's soil. Among those watching closely was the Trump administration. At the time, Donald Trump was keen on securing what he publicly called the best deals in the world, and his team believed this was one of them. The proposal that landed on President Amadou Diarra's desk looked at first glance like a golden opportunity. The United States would provide $3 billion in infrastructure funding, modern mining technology, and a comprehensive security package to protect mining zones from criminal networks. The deal promised to unlock Kantara's potential and deliver prosperity for generations. But in exchange, the United States, more specifically American corporations with close ties to the White House, would receive 65% of all gold profits for the next 40 years. Not just a share of revenue, but operational control of the mines, including decisions about export volumes, pricing, and even who Kantara could sell to. For President Diarra, a man who had campaigned on breaking the cycle of dependency and reclaiming control over national resources, the proposal was immediately suspicious. But it wasn't until a series of leaks exposed the hidden clauses that the full scale of the deal's imbalance became clear. Investigative journalists from an outlet called the Global Ledger obtained a draft version of the contract and began publishing its contents. Buried deep within the fine print were provisions that went far beyond profit sharing. There were clauses granting U.S. military security rights in the mining regions, which would allow American forces to establish operational bases inside Kantara. Another section stipulated that any disputes would be settled under U.S. law in American courts. Even more alarming was a clause that effectively banned Kantara from selling its gold to certain markets, most notably China and Russia, without U.S. approval. The leak hit Kantara like a lightning bolt. Within hours, hashtags like #gold is ours, #no to the deal, and #Kantara first were trending across social media. University students poured into the streets, joined by miners' unions, teachers, and civil society groups. For many, this wasn't just about gold. It was about sovereignty, about breaking free from a long history of foreign powers controlling Africa's wealth. The protests spread from the capital to rural towns, where people who had never marched for anything before took to the streets carrying handmade signs that read, "Not for sale." The pressure on President Diarra was immense. On one side, he faced a wave of national pride and outrage, demanding he reject the deal outright. On the other side was the most powerful country in the world, dangling promises of infrastructure and investment while quietly warning of the consequences if Kantara walked away. In Washington, Trump's advisors began to push harder, sending diplomatic messages that hinted at reduced aid, limited trade opportunities, and the potential loss of U.S. military cooperation in the fight against terrorism in the region. The stakes were clear: accept the deal and secure billions in short-term investment, or reject it and risk political and economic retaliation. In Washington, President Amadou Diarra met Donald Trump. Smiles for the cameras, but behind closed doors, tension. "Trump, we're offering you the best deal you'll ever get. If you don't take it, someone else will." Diarra calm. "If it's truly a good deal, it will survive transparency. My people will not sell their children's future." Hours of talks, but no agreement was signed. Cut 2, crowds outside the palace, flags waving, people waiting. Diarra at the podium, "We are not for sale. Our gold is not for sale. This deal does not serve the people of Kantara, and it is rejected in full." Crowd erupts in cheers, social media clips spreading. Kantara said no, and that no echoed across Africa. Ghana passed new mining laws. Mali reopened contracts. Tanzania expelled foreign fleets. Cut 2, schools being built, hospitals upgraded, new roads. The gold still flows, but now the profits build the nation. Diarra's choice became a symbol, proof that sometimes the most powerful word a leader can say is the simplest. Closing shot, cheering crowd, screen fades to text. Sometimes the strongest word is just one, no.